form, but because the word Twitch has another meaning, in
or
English
several,
language,
yeah.
yeah, um, that's pretty horrifying.
Anyway, welcome to this low-key horror podcast. Yeah, it keeps starting. It
drop
keeps
into my lower register for this.
Yeah, this is our Crusader Kings 3 playthrough / Magnus Archives fanfic stream.
I wish I had a voice like you have the Magnus Archives.
It's rich. It's a rich one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in theory, we're still logging onto Twitch. It says sending data. I'm having a great time, and we are creating hashtag content. Let's be very clear. But
this is our podcast. Look at a partial map of Finland while two white guys just talk about stuff.
Look,
and make each other laugh.
It's very niche, but I feel like
it's not that far off from Joe Rogan's show, honestly. And if he could do it, why can't we, right?
I mean, I guess the map's not accurate, so yeah, it's a lot like Joe Rogan.
Exactly. But the only difference between him and us that I can perceive is that he has Elon Musk's phone number.
Yeah, right. Unlike us.
Is there something you need to tell me?
All right. Well, we've kept it from you as long as we could. Let's bring him out, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, elongated muskrat.
I picture this as being like the stage name of the guy who is like, I don't know, the Mountain Goats of Zydeco, which is probably just the Mountain Goats now that I'm thinking about it.
I mean, kinda. But... They haven't made their Zydeco album yet, but they've been Zydeco album. Is that what I said? They haven't gone that way, but it's like they've been advertising quite heavily that it's a possibility at the very least. Okay, I'm gonna say if YouTube is working, then we're going with YouTube. I still don't know what I did to Twitch, but this will probably be the last time we're streaming from my laptop. We're gonna be going from the new desktop after this, so this is probably the last time we'll have whatever problems we're having. We're going with YouTube.
Fingers crossed.
I still don't.
I'll knock on Elon Musk's wooden leg. There's the expose for our podcast. You heard it here first. Elon Musk has a wooden leg he won't tell you about. Tell your friends.
Towing the line between absurdist comedy and legally actionable slander.
Well, I think that I could probably defend it by saying it's slander that somebody has a wooden leg. It's just,
that's true. That's true. Yeah, it's not. That's true. That's true. There would be nothing bad about it. That's a very good point. I didn't mean to take it to an ableist place. It seems like the kind of thing he'd be insulted about, mainly because it's wood and not some kind of weird Mars metal.
That's true. Maybe he could argue that would hurt his marketing. But hopefully, though, nobody tuning into this, is so drunk, tired, high, or dumb that they would think that Elon Musk actually has a wooden leg just because I said so.
Well, the thing is, people have been saying that he does. I've heard it before, so.
Some people. Wink.
Questions are being asked. Okay. What am I doing here? I am picking my character.
So for everybody at home, I am still playing High Chieftain Kelva of, and boy, my Finnish pronunciation is just a guess, the petty kingdom of Pohjanmaa, the Suomenusko. Boy, got the vowels all wrong there. Petty king of parts of what is now Finland and Sweden.
And I'm still Jarl Helgi the Seer. I haven't played a full session as Jarl Helgi yet. This is the son of the troublemaker, whose life came to a spectacular but ultimately perhaps ignominious end in our previous episode.
Indeed.
Well, I don't know what in the world we're waiting for. Let's crusade.
I can click play now. Wonderful.
Okay, so time is paused. As a reminder for anybody who who doesn't play this game and is just here for our sparkling company, or who simply doesn't remember, we can pause time at any time. But when we are not paused, time moves inexorably forward, if at variable speeds.
Indeed. We can control the variable speeds at which it moves forward, actually.
Indeed.
Within 5 degrees plus pause.
We have so much control for a game in which we ultimately have very little control.
That is, wow, that's deep, man. Sorry, I'm still trying to compete with Joe Rogan over here. I am at war currently.
I mean, I'm not sober, so we're on our way to competing with Joe Rogan. But I'm not, I'm
Well, and I poured cognac into my store brand Crystal Light, so
classing up the joint.
Yeah.
What is there a name for that?
Work with what you
cognac and Crystal Light, or the equivalent thereof.
I could make one up. It's actually
Is it a sassy Jarl? I'm sorry. Please continue.
I once took a name from an extremely hard to get item in the browser game Fallen London for a cocktail that I probably didn't invent but did come up with independently, involving cognac and grenadine and triple sec, and called it a Venom Ruby. So I think this is probably like a Venom faux Ruby.
Okay. Yeah.
It's, the glass that they color to look like a ruby, but in cocktail form.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, this is the what do I have on my shelf? Cool. That looks like it'll work. Drink.
Yeah. Venom sea glass. Yeah.
There you go.
So I, by the way, really quick, one of the issues I should say that I have is that my brother Chieftain Bjorn has a low opinion of me, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't remember Chieftain Bjorn. Chieftain Bjorn is 8 years old, so what do I do to raise his opinion of me? Do I buy him a PlayStation 5? What is my play here? I guess it's all the same stuff I would with an adult, basically, right?
Yeah. Probably, yeah. Your options are going to be a little bit more limited. Same if you were trying to make nice with your presumably brother Jarl Bjorn Rurikson of Luki, who split off his little petty kingdom from yours when Rurik died, who is 15. Until you achieve majority at 16 in this game, you have a smaller list of interaction options in diplomacy, but it is not like a completely different one. It's just, oh yeah, I can't offer them a concubine, whatever.
Sure. Demanding conversion is probably not the best opening salvo. I could send a gift. Who doesn't love a gift?
I think everybody likes a gift, although
certain personality types might not, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they or like it less, right? They will still get a bump, but it won't be as big a bump as somebody who is like greedy. Although somebody who is greedy, you have to give a bigger gift to anyway. So
right. Well, this little shit is a covetous planner, so I think it's going to be just fine.
Yeah, that sounds like it probably wouldn't be the biggest problem in the world. Yes, I see him. Well, yeah, his soul trait is charming, so I don't know what to make of that.
I'm very much picturing him as like one of those children who's a tiny adult and winks,
Right. I am currently at war with the chiefdom of Pialinin. I, again, have no idea if I'm pronouncing that appropriately or not. And I seem to have other people in this war with me, which is bizarre. But I mean, maybe I got called in or something. And I have some allies, so I should be okay, is the bottom line there, without you having to come, pull my bacon out of the fire, as it were, like you did last time I was in a war.
Sure.
Sorry about that.
I mean, that's all good. That's all good. You got. What am I going to take it with me?
Clearly not.
He went out in a blaze of glory, and he died the way he lived, I suppose, is what I'm saying.
Well, hey. Sorry, I just zoomed out and noticed that Great Moravia is its own very large kingdom at the moment.
Oh,
it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Doesn't always happen. All right. Well, I don't have a ton to actually do here. As a reminder, to myself, to Drew, and to our audience, my High Chieftain at a ripe old age of like 40 or so developed the health trait Possessed.
That's right. I forgot about this. Yeah.
So we might be in for a wild ride. Depending on the rolls, we might not, but I'm also apparently improvident. Kelva habitually gives far more money away to charities than he can reasonably afford, so that's probably not amazingly good, but it helps keep me from getting stressed out. I don't know if you have seen this, by the way, but the interface has changed a little bit across the updates. The biggest one that I've noticed is that the stress meter now lives on your portrait rather than next to it, because I guess people are having trouble finding it. So the stress meter has moved, sure, if not very far. yeah, I think I'm probably ready to unpause whenever you are.
Give me just 1 sec. I just have some
Oh yes, that was not by way of hurrying you.
my Vidunia is not especially fond of me, which is a solvable problem.
Yeah. You had mentioned earlier that my time is valuable, but my response is probably not as much of a commodity as yours. So
I don't know about that. You work for a living. I definitively kind of don't.
I mean, I do, but also I do a pretty good job of keeping the other demands on my time very, very few.
That's fair enough. Okay. Ooh, that's what I've been doing wrong. That's the part I'm bad at. Okay, well, let's see. I have a powerful vassal who expects a council position. That's the one thing I haven't dealt with as yet. Chieftain Ingvar.
Chieftain Ingvar. So, interestingly, that is just a hit to his opinion, which is fairly low, but you don't have to give it to him.
Sure. If I decide I don't care what he thinks of me.
Right. Or if you think that him being mad at you gives you a chance to replace him or something, like if he rebels, but if you feel like you aren't terribly secure in your throne at the moment,
sure,
then one way to shore it up would be to put him on your council, probably as your spy master, which is kind of dangerous, but he does have 21 intrigue, and it's going to get used against you either way, so,
Yeah, you make a good point.
Also, I'm noticing that he's a lunatic, so not entirely sure how that's going to play out if he's your spy master.
I mean, to be totally honest, I'm not sure I can resist finding out. So
fair enough. Also, I don't know if you've looked at the art for the little trait lunatic, but it is a screaming face in the moon, and it's amazing.
I had not noticed that, and it's extremely good. Those who have not seen it, there it is. It's vivid. Okay, welcome to the team, Chieftain Crazy Pants. Let's do this thing.
Chieftain Crazy Pants is the epithet that I hope I end up with by the end of my life.
His friends, his enemies, they all called him the same.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's a mark of respect.
Exactly, respect, fear, regard. Let's unpause, shall we?
Let's.
Ooh, already something is happening. So, oh cool. I got somebody who didn't have a high opinion of me hitched to a real catch. So that should help.
Good. Yeah, hopefully. All right, what do I have? Mercenary company contract expiring. Well, that's just fine. Don't want to pay them anyway.
Yeah, same here actually.
But hopefully they can help me finish the siege first. There is a disease outbreak, so it, feels like the siege shouldn't be very long. Pelagia, that's a hell of a name. Whoever she is, she likes me. An exercise in meditation. Pardon, I must pause to read this event.
Yeah, it's all good.
When the raised voices reach me yet again, I quench my instinct to turn on my heel. The constant bickering of my vassal, Chief Olafi, and my champion, Everard, is enough to drive any man mad. Something must be done. I could either treat the situation as an exercise in meditation, or eavesdrop and approach one of them with my sympathies afterward. This is primarily a stress thing. So, yeah, I'm gonna roll for the chance to get some prestige. And it worked. My mediation is successful. I think I said meditation before. It was mediation.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Not that the other made no sense, but this does make more sense.
Yeah, well, and there are certainly mystical characters that you can play as in these games, but in this case, not so much. And another event has popped up, tourney troubles. As a High Chieftain, I have been obliged to attend a local wrestling tournament, but the contestants have been delayed. The tourney won't start for at least another hour. Looking around, I notice my champion, Everard, sitting underneath a pavilion. Nearby, clearly bored halfway to death. Start for at least another hour. I could just pass the time by reading great epics while I wait. Let's see. I've wasted enough time on this disaster to lose 12 stress. Because I have 90 stress.
Oh my god.
Yeah. do not want. All right. I also can use this time to enforce my demands and my. Oh, not mine. Oh, that's why I had allies. The claim on the chiefdom of Olavinlina. Boy, really guessing at these pronunciations still.
You're doing way better than I am, or will.
Woo! I gained 10 prestige. Woo.
I can't keep giving Bjorn too many gifts because I am myself greedy, so I get stressed when I.
Oh yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not extending the mercenary contract. All right, here goes. Unpausing.
I feel like I can't offer a ward. I'll offer him as a ward. Okay. I'm making him or someone in his court the guardian of a chosen child. What I thought I was doing was giving an 8-year-old a ward, which is.
I mean, a power move, perhaps.
Yeah.
But maybe not a good idea.
You're right. This is your cousin dad now.
Two great tastes that taste great together. Right, raising control in Satakunta, which I think is how you say it. And trying to figure out when to declare my next little war here. Because I really need to become a king before I croak.
Yeah. Recommended.
I gotta arrange a marriage for my son, Veli. Let's see. What are... Yeah, sure. Go. And, oh, I get a perk. My.
Perks are nice.
Hey, monthly income per stress level. That's a weird set of incentives. So you are getting married. You expect a council position. Hell yeah. Be my marshal. I'm sorry, Naruchad. Naruchad, the Chad that likes Naruto. Okay. On pausing.
So Baby Bjorn, as I realized I should have been calling him, is still a Staru. These pronunciations. Is still a Satru, rather, which I am not anymore, so that's interesting.
Yeah, you are a Slovianskan.
Yes.
Still
pause because I got an event. Right. Yeah, still both unreformed Norse fates. Okay, an extra hand. For all the authority I supposedly wield as Jarl, I cannot be everywhere in my realm at once. There will always be those who forget to obey my orders once my attention is turned elsewhere. This is where my courtier Sorkfer, we really did this to ourselves, didn't we, could come in, who has been faithfully enforcing my decrees in court. Could he serve as my right-hand man and take a more active role in administering my realm? Well, let's see.
Presumably he could. The question becomes, will he?
Well, so my options are, yes, he will serve me well, which means we spend more time together. I can rather say that my marshal is gonna be more the man for the job, or I can say I can handle everything myself if I work harder, which gives me 350 prestige, but also 36 stress, which takes me critical. So probably I won't do that.
Yeah, critical stress can be kind of an issue.
I'll have a right hand. Let's do that.
I have taken this opportunity to investigate some of the wars that I could declare, and I could subjugate Uppland, the major regional rival that I have, but it might get dicey. I do have more troops than they do, but not by like an amazing amount. And I can't really raise more troops than I currently have by hook or by crook. I don't really have enough prestige to manage it, I don't think. I do have those forest warden archers though, which is nice. So you have a newly minted right-hand man?
I do.
How exciting.
I'm also going ahead and sending my other half-brother to be in Baby Bjorn's court, which should give me some opinion every month.
I just noticed that Norway has kind of disappeared, or Norge, or whatever it's called in this case. And instead, we have both Uppland and Upplund in the east and west of Scandinavia.
Well, that's not going to be confusing.
Not at all. Literally a one-letter difference.
We're way before telegrams where you could like accidentally declare war on the wrong country. Keystroke error.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's a terrifying idea.
No, I said Shona, damn it.
Well, and so like you said we did this to ourselves. The funny thing is that I can probably, if I'm paying close enough attention to the spelling, pronounce most of the Norse names. And sure. I went and chose Finland. Because I'm very smart, you see. I also, just as a caveat before anybody runs to chat or to the comments when this posts in the archives, I think you had referred to Slovianskan as an unreformed Norse faith. It's an unreformed Slavic faith. You're culturally Norse, but your religion is Slavic.
That is a good and important point. Mechanically meaningful, in addition to being just an important point of accuracy.
Yeah. And that's the chief of which one was it that you? Oh yeah, so Baby Bjorn is also Norse. You have the culture in common. Presumably that means the language in common, but the religion is still different.
And we should note, 100% fervor.
Oh yeah, I did not even think to check. What's Swomanusko at? 78% fervor, but it is rising.
What exactly does fervor govern in this game?
So it's always relative to the fervor of an opposing faith, and so actions like being able to convert faith in a county get easier if your faith has higher fervor than someone else's faith.
Gotcha.
I think it also has to do a little bit, or at least in 2 it had to do a lot of it, and I think it still has a little bit to do in this game with like the appearance of heresies and how willing people are to sort of like sign on to them. And it might also factor into the sorts of decisions that like self-appointed religious heads can make and things like that, but I have not really gotten to that point thus far, so.
Noted.
Are you doing anything in particular?
I mean, I got lots of irons in the fire, but I think they're all in motion if you want to unpause.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to finish up with Baby Bjorn there.
Yeah, no, so I mean, it's the ward is on his way, so...
all right. Well, then let's go.
All right.
Over-taxation causes banditry? No, don't do that. I don't need banditry. I'm already poor. I mean, poor as kings go, anyway.
Right. Poor as kings go is a great turn of phrase.
Let's see. Oh, I can build buildings in my capital, which I should do. Definitely need the gathering halls because those will grant me monthly prestige. And prestige is literally a currency when you are a tribal ruler. It's the war this guy is in. When he's staying. He's got Okay, this may be foolish, but, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I'm going to try to subjugate Uppland.
Yeah,
I
man.
have 3,000 troops. They've got 2,500, including their allies, but they're also in 2 other wars. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this will end up being a good idea. So here we go. War declared. Let's raise everybody. Right. I can call allies to war. That might not be a bad idea, although I think it costs me prestige, so maybe we'll hold off until we see whether or not it's necessary. And I remembered, too, that we are no longer allied. When you died, our alliance expired. Unfortunately, but, perhaps inevitably.
Well, the tooltip is telling me I should raid. I am poor, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good source of income.
And the political situation is still such that that's not... Like, you can raid without it being war. Or even people thinking that badly of you for that long.
Yeah, no, they'll be mad that you raided them, but they don't think of it as being like, not real aggression. It's more like a cattle raid in King of Dragon Pass.
Sure.
For all 4 people in the audience for whom that is a meaningful reference. Actually, I'd be really lucky if there were 4 people in the audience total, so...
Point of fact, there are exactly 4 people in the audience.
Oh, hello, 4 people in the audience. Hopefully you know what King of Dragon Pass is, so that I look a little smarter than I otherwise would.
Nobody's saying so in chat, but if you haven't played King of Dragon Pass, it's a good one. It'll blow your brain open in regards to what like an RPG or really a video game can even be. Yeah,
I put it kind of in the same broad category, even though they play very differently, as sorcery. The Inkle, is that their name?
Yes.
Version, yeah, which is like really cool stuff, but very strange and very different and interesting, in my opinion, at least.
Oh, I thought you meant that it was objectively interesting, whatever that would mean. Okay.
I guess that would be like if it hypnotized you when you happen to look at it.
Yeah, that would objectively interest. Okay, so my son and heir, Haraldur, has been impressed with one of the household champions for a very long time. After finally meeting in person, he has been repeating the warrior's words to himself. Those words being, "Give others their due, and you will receive your own in turn." So I can... so basically he's gained the trait Generous. And this is one of those things where I can let that happen, or I can try to force him in a different direction at the cost of my own well-being. So mechanically speaking, what are the disadvantages, if any, of generosity?
You should be able to hover over it and get the tooltip there, because I do not have it memorized.
I'm sorry, I'm more interested in what you have to say than the game, but you're right, there are always these nested tooltips and stuff.
Well, and the thing is that I know in broad strokes, generosity is likely to increase diplomacy, but maybe have knock-on effects about like what stresses you out and maybe income levels.
Yeah,
but
reduces monthly income by 10%, and it makes him less tolerant of greedy characters.
Right.
Okay, this is fine. Okay, cool. I'm gonna raise a raiding party over here. And I'm gonna raid the day away.
Raid the day away. Financial worries for another day.
I'm gonna unpause if that works for...
Yeah, go for it. Clearly we need to avoid whatever was happening with me just now.
No, I love it, and I want more of it, actually. Ooh, we got something else going on here. With suspicion, I took Rurik out playing with a bow, and to my surprise, he ran into a wounded doe. he later lashed out at me, thinking I had staged the whole encounter as some kind of test. I can tell him it was a test and that he passed, in which case he gains the trait paranoid. This seems like a bad trait to have. Less diplomacy, better at intrigue.
Yeah, it mainly makes you harder to assassinate.
It seems to your stress gain seems to immediately go to 100% though.
Yeah, having played a paranoid character early on in my Crusader Kings 3 single player stuff, it's pretty rough on your stress levels. It's not easy to stay entirely marbled. If you're paranoid.
My other options here are, and either of which would take me to a critical stress level, I would like to make clear. I can say, then show me you could have felled the animal yourself, in which case it becomes ambitious, or I could say, someone always suffers, make certain it's not you. In which case he gains the trait sadistic. Well, this is not my heir.
So yeah, you can kind of just let him, whatever.
Yeah, be paranoid. You do you, baby boo. Okay, so raiding party has been re-raised. I think we'll probably... Yep, we'll do that. Maybe we'll...
Got the Fraggle Rock theme song stuck in my head. Which is fine if I'm not streaming. If I can just walk around the house driving my wife crazy by singing it, then that's one thing.
It's almost more sadistic to say that it's in your head and then not. You're making the people sing it.
I feel like there's a line in a song about "Can you hear the people sing?" Something like that. I don't know. I was trying to make a reference, but then it got away from me.
I don't know how coy you're being, but for the record, that is Les Miserables.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I am not up on musical theater, but I am acquainted with people who are, and so these things get lodged in my brain, and I don't know where they came from.
Yeah, it's like the big we're gonna do the French Revolution. No, not that one song in that show.
Gotcha. Oh man, now I'm sad because I am reminded that one of the events in history that gets covered most comprehensively for the students that I teach is the French Revolution, but it's their education in it is all about these dirty poor people murdered a bunch of people and tried to outlaw Catholicism. It was terrible.
Oh God. Oh no.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of terrible stuff, but boy, I really need you to know more of the story than that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying the Reign of Terror was, as the kids would say, a good look, but it's like...
Yeah, I have no desire to come to the defense of somebody who put clergy on barges and cannoned them from shore. That's terrible. I don't want it to happen. But also, it's a big story. There's a lot more going on.
Right. I mean, like, yes, Lincoln threw newspaper editors in jail without charge or trial. That was bad.
Yeah.
It does not follow, however, that the Civil War was about states' rights or whatever.
Yeah. I did have a really edifying conversation with a student recently, though, as we were moving into reading Civil War era fiction. Who was kind of like, so I know the Civil War was about slavery, but wasn't it also about all these other things? And, we had the conversation about, like, how all these other things kind of tie back into slavery at the end of the day.
Totally.
The differences in economy and states' rights and all that good stuff. Like, yeah, it's kind of inextricable. And it was a good conversation. So, lest anybody listening think that I only complain about my
job. No, I think this is like a common thing for basically anyone who's an educator of any kind, right? There's a combination of complaining and then like, but then here's a good one. Like that's, yeah.
I actually, so I don't, I'm not often very comfortable doing this, but I had to tell this story because it was one of the happiest moments of the past week for me. We were reading a science fiction story about it's called 68 Hazard Cold by Janelle C. Shane, I think. But it's about a cleaning droid with a memory wiped human brain as the sort of center of its identity. Escaped, turned pirate, crashed on a planet, and came into contact with an alien probe. It makes friends with the alien probe, and the aliens rescue Grecki, the main character. She gets rescued by the aliens, and so it's sort of this like the power of empathy and friendship to transcend linguistic and species bounds across light years of empty space and all this. It's really, cute and uplifting story. I highly recommend it. But she has her cleaning bots, Vroom and Squeegee, as like her pets. They are not sentient. They don't have a human mind in them. They're just, robots. But she, treats them very much as though they were like, pair of dogs or something that she had with her on this extremely hostile planet. And so I told my students, okay, I am stealing this from Community, but they don't know what Community is, so I was safe. Right. And I picked up a pencil and I said, this is Steve. He likes it when it rains outside. It relaxes him and makes him smile. And then I snapped the pencil in half, and all of my students went, "Ah!" And I went, "What's with that reaction?" I said, "Well, you told us it was Steve, and then you killed him." I said, "Exactly." And we had like a nice little discussion afterward. One of my students came up to my desk as he was leaving class and said, "You are unspeakably cruel and an amazing teacher."
Oh, that's...
I was like,
that is
two of the highest compliments I've ever received.
My God, love and fear together.
Machiavelli would be so proud.
He would at that.
Speaking of Machiavelli and the prince, I actually am good to unpause if you are.
I am too, pending one quick thing. So my control of the kingdom of Novgorod, I will get to say these words correctly at some point.
Novgorod.
Thank you. Novgorod is low. I can assign a marshal to increase control in the county. I can assign my marshal rather to the increased control of the county task. That's what. Yes. Gotcha.
That is correct.
I should probably do that.
Probably should. 33 is pretty low. It will start getting things like bandits and smugglers rings and stuff if you're not careful. So
yeah,
it's going to be a long process. Just so you know, your marshal will be occupied for a while, but it'll be okay.
Okay. We're in bad shape, but better shape. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, guest appearance from Doggos.
That's fine. I can only hear him a
Did you turn the speed down for any particular reason?
I didn't do it intentionally, so let's go back to 3.
It may just have been a latency thing, where it was like, uh-oh, there's latency, and turned it down on its own.
Right.
But
I didn't think anything of it because I know you're pursuing a war, so I didn't know if that was intentional.
No. That's why I asked. A new claimant. Oh. For some reason, I don't have the best diplomats in my kingdom. I do have a new daughter, though. Hello, dogs. Thank you for guesting on the stream.
Welcome to the stream, Doggos, and Mazel Tov on your pretend daughter.
Why, thank you. And my wife is pregnant again. She's 46. Huh. Also, I always forget her name, and then I laugh when I remember it because her name is Tittii.
So, my wife's pregnant. That's the good news. Bad news. I have lost the chiefdom of Novgorod due to the Thieves Guild? County corruption.
Oh.
The Thieves Guild is operating freely in this county. I've received a letter. Oh, I see. The chiefdom of Novgorod lost to the Thieves Guild. That's what happens. Got it.
Yeah. So okay. the Thieves Guild that was there has been eradicated.
Understood. So to the abhorrent Jarl Helgi, which I've been called better and I've been called worse, we've been burdened with your oppressive laws far too long. No more. We are done paying your taxes. Once your coffers dry up and your larders are empty, you will wish you had treated us more fairly. Signed, Leader Kasu of Peasant Revolt.
Oh, so you've got a peasant revolt going.
I have.
That's
I think
fun.
Those two things are somewhat... Oh, so those two things are unrelated. My brain made them related. My marshal's doing well because of the Thieves Guild situation. Right. But you're right. They may not be totally unrelated.
Yeah, where is this revolt happening? Would be my question.
Right. Well...
Because having low county control does make it easier for peasants to revolt.
Mm-hmm. So let's see here. So if I Okay, so I lose some control temporarily either way, but I lose much more if I grant a tax lien and they gain increased autonomy, or I can basically spawn some peasants to, fight.
Right.
Peasant spawn it is.
Oh, man, that is a surprisingly upsetting thing to hear.
I guess
it does sound like the sort of thing that like Prince Humperdinck would call somebody.
Yes, absolutely. So I guess I need to, because I raised everybody to go raiding, so I need to send some folks home.
I think once they're back in your territory, you can, without disbanding them and having to re-raise them, you can take them off of the raiding stance. Mm-hmm. But I don't.
Yeah, let's go. Just go ahead and crush this rebellion real quick here. Oh, the country I was trying to raid has an actual war happening, so they're busy.
Yeah.
All right, enough. Let's go.
Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like you're busy. I'll come back later.
I'm terribly embarrassed. I can only imagine how you feel.
I have been offered a white piece. I am going to decline, and that might actually be kind of a bad idea on balance, but we're going to find out later. Thought that I had successfully occupied Finland, like the county of, but apparently I had not. Sure, stay relatively well supplied. This is going to be a long siege. I don't know why, but almost everything I hear or say this evening is reminding me of a song. And it would not, I don't think, be particularly enjoyable for anybody if I just started singing them all into the microphone. But the only other option I could come up with was talk about it happening, so that I am not tempted to actually sing. Let's see. To the benevolent High Chieftain Kelva of Pojanma, call on you to honor your alliance and join me in the Tartuan Holmgarther subjugation war. Are you subjugating to somebody?
I just
or are they subjugating you?
They're sure making an attempt to subjugate me. This happened just now. So to the cocky Jarl Helgi, you are weak and I am strong. There is no other justification needed for me to come and take what I wish from you. They are militarily superior, and I'm at war now, so that's...
So that military superiority likely includes my troops, who will not be showing up to help. So, if that helps.
It does. It extremely does.
I'm going to accept. I'm going to be part of a war against you, but I am not going to be sending any troops against you. It looks like by themselves, they have 371 troops to send. And it actually looks like a simple majority of their troops that they can send come from me. So, yeah, I am going to accept, because otherwise it would cost me prestige.
Sure,
and that would be bad. But I will not be sending troops to. So, this is where being an immortal body hopping pod person helps.
I mean, there are a few places, but yeah, here for sure.
This is one of them. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to divide and conquer here a little bit. I'm going to leave somebody at home. I got to crush these peasants real quick. Okay. I think I'm as ready as...
All right. Here goes. Tartu, huh? Where is Tartu? No.
Tartu is right by me, for the record.
Gotcha. Your vassal, Chieftain Toivo, has slain my cousin Thorder in a dishonest brawl. I demand satisfaction for this slight. Jarl Bjornsson of Uppland. I'm at war with you. What? I'm not gonna make my dude go like beg for your forgiveness while I am actively trying to conquer you. Man,
it seems like
the Swedish are weird, apparently.
I don't mean to call it out, but we have an episode title.
Excellent. On pausing.
I've still been savoring that new Beowulf. Speaking of the Swedish being weird, I mean, like, I can't drag it out too much longer. That the dragon's a calling, but
right, yeah, it's not ultimately that long a poem.
It's
but,
not. I mean, it's meaty, but yeah, for sure, it's brief.
Well, and especially by the standards of like a heroic epic.
Totally. And I mean, and of course, it's that fascinating thing where like how much of that is because we don't have all of it. Like it's hard to know.
Yeah. All right.
Narva is under siege. Oops.
I control Finland.
Congrats.
Just in case you were interested.
I'm deeply interested.
All right, looks like they're going to have about 1,400 people in Narva.
Yeah.
Though I think that's going to end up being most of the force they can bring to bear. I'm not seeing any other armies wandering around in my ally vision.
That's good to know. Boy, I do love a turn.
And my 2,400... Yeah, my 2,400 are heading to Sweden, so we will be far away from you.
Chef's kiss. Okay, I'm ready to go.
Swedish chef's kiss.
Baby Bjorn.
I'm pausing.
Let's do it. Oh, and I have a daughter. What is it with me and only having children in the most, like, war-strewn circumstances?
I have had 2 children. I say I. My wife has had 2 children since she turned 45.
That's intense.
Yeah. I would not want to be pregnant at 46 in the year 888 CE.
We're gonna go.
I feel like that would be trouble for me.
Gonna go ahead and name her after my wife's mother.
Aw.
My spouse is 37, but that's a world of difference when and where we are. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Here we go. Ooh, hang on. Siege of Vangi is lost. I have been very negligent here. Where is that?
Well, it does not look like it really advanced their war score any, so...
No. This is me being bad at this game / a noob. Where the hell is it?
Well, you do have a search function, find title, Vengi.
Yeah.
Well, it would help if I spelled it correctly when I actually typed
Vyangi, actually, excuse me.
I see it, yeah. There's a tribe and a chiefdom. It is south of Oniga and east of Ladoga, north of Tikven. So your upper extremity.
I see. Okay. Got it.
Who the hell
okay, so I got to take that back.
Oh, that's the peasant.
That's the peasants.
Gotcha.
Okay.
You are headed into a battle that it does not look especially likely that you will win.
There are reinforcements coming.
Okay,
so
good.
It's not quite as bad as it looks.
Yeah, I can only see what my allies, that I am currently double crossing can see. So
Sure. Okay. Not loving fighting a war on 2 fronts, but it is what it is. Here we go.
Would that we were still allied, but alas. We will have to reinstate that marriage of state soon, hopefully.
So that resolved really badly because my reinforcements didn't get there in time.
Indeed, and now your reinforcements are going to get trounced.
Yeah, that was not how I thought that worked. Oops.
Yeah.
So now these boys are just heading home. And oof, I did this about as badly as a person could have.
Well, hopefully what will happen is back in friendly territory, you will start to reinforce once again and have a chance to regroup a little bit.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, a subjugation war makes you a vassal of the person who subjugated you. So if that's what you're looking at here as a subjugation war, then, you can always aspire to supplant or revolt.
Sure.
Yeah. Depending on your proclivities. Designated guardian. You like bossy, huh? Alright, well, let's get you guardian. The better scheme. Longhouse is constructed. Perk gained. So yeah, pause while I do this. I don't think I have any dread, but if I gain some, it will increase my morale. Or rather, my troops' morale. Ransom? Hey! Yeah, let's ransom. I could always use the money. Right. And now, to Uppland. Okay. I do not want your white piece. I want to conquer you. What is so hard to understand about that?
Yeah, they may not like it, but it ain't complicated.
I feel like I was very clear in the nearly deranged, frothing mad missive that I sent to you that what I wanted was your land. Okay, good to unpause?
Yeah, let's do it.
Go on.
So noted, you got to join your forces before you send them into harm's way.
You can reinforce a battle in progress, and it can sometimes be the difference between victory and defeat, but you do want to make sure that, like, you're going to get there in time, like,
right.
For sure.
That's what didn't happen that time.
Yeah. And, like, often if you're doing that, you are going to end up having a situation where the forces that you send in are damaged and are having trouble prior to the reinforcements arriving, right? So the reinforcements need to bring you to like an overwhelming majority. They need to really, save your bacon, as it were.
Hang on, I'm going to pause for just a moment here. So the peasant uprising is put down. That's nice. That's nice, dear. Trying to remember how I recombine my armies. There we go. So that's good.
So I hold this personal. Sorry, I'm muttering to myself about the income that I get from a very distant, far-flung part of my empire is the wrong word. Domain.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
And yet, I cannot but daydream. Well, that's right, I get Iceland too if I go for Scandinavia. Alright, well, I've had to have gone to war with Uppland anyway to get the county of Finland, but definitely need to start concentrating my efforts in de jure, good lord, Kingdom of Finland for too long. Else, I think I will live to regret it.
Aye.
Or somebody in my dynasty will, anyway. I, the body-hopping pod person, will live to regret it.
I mean, true. And that's what's up for grabs. you living and regretting. I'm being raided. I can't be bothered to worry about that quite right now. Okay, I'm ready when you are.
I am ready. 'Tis your pause. One thing that I feel I should probably point out as well is that if they take your capital, that's a meaningfully bad thing.
Right.
Worse than other things being taken. Boy, all right. My son is scaly, and it shows up in his portrait. Wow. My son Happa has been impressed with one of the household champions and is repeating. Oh, you've gotten this one.
I got that very same one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so diligent is a good trait to have. I mean, stress gain aside. Sure, go ahead, be diligent, kid. Pausing.
Oh, actually, real quick, I got a martial point to spend, which
Yeah. I keep looking down at battles that are going on and thinking, oh, cool, we're winning, and then go, oh, shit, no, wait, that's Drew. We should be losing that battle.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Why am I losing this so hard? We were way stronger. What? Did I misread that completely?
I think they brought in reinforcements. It looked like their number was bigger than yours by the time the battle started.
Wow.
Other things can have an effect, but as I have limited information, I can only do so much advice there. But
I mean, I'm not even sure what to do at this point. Then,
what's your financial situation like?
Bad.
Not enough for mercenaries. Yeah, certainly not enough for mercenaries. Unfortunately. Well, like I said, worst case scenario, you end up a vassal of Tartu.
Right.
Which presumably would leave you just with your domain. I think that since Tartu is a chiefdom, it would knock you down a station. But there's ways to come back from that.
Sure.
Especially, for example, if you have a powerful foreign ally or a mediocre foreign ally, as the case may be. An ally of some kind. Let's go steamroll the sieging arm. Oh, he ran away. That's cute.
So my heir has a situation where he may become arbitrary. You were saying that's one of the worst things to be?
Certainly in CK2 it was one of the worst things to be, and I think it's not particularly good in its own right now, in this version, but it also has the added stress complications of like trying to rule while giving you stress.
Right. Well, at this point he can be arbitrary, craven, or lazy.
None of those are great, being honest.
This is my heir. So
oh no,
groovy. This is a bad sesh, Adam. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it sounds pretty dire, honestly. So let's see. Your primary heir is okay. No, arbitrary at least gives you dread and stress gain. So that's like, you won't gain as much stress overall because you don't give a shit. And dread can sub in for having people like you.
Sure.
Lazy just lowers stats, if I remember correctly, which is hard to work around. And what was the other one? Cruel?
Craven.
Craven. Oh, Craven is not as easy to justify. Arbitrary might be your best bet here.
Yeah.
I haven't played with an arbitrary ruler in Crusader Kings 3, so maybe it is less Vorpal than being arbitrary in CK2.
It's not going to be boring.
Stewardship, and it drains piety, which is not great, but...
So
yeah,
my war score is pretty bad. I don't have really anybody else to raise. I have, to use a phrase that's appropriate to the time and place, I have borked this war.
I feel like the best thing you might be able to do now is to gather the forces that you do have on your capital and see if they can reinforce before they head your way.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't mean they can win without taking your capital, in which case you might, venture out and try to turn the tide before it comes to that point, but consolidating your forces is the only way you're going to be able to start making headway.
Sure.
Unfortunately.
Where are my troops even? Do I have troops anymore?
I show you have 1,201 available. 639 are raised, and if your levy's reinforced all the way, you'd have 1,566. Though, that obviously would take time.
Right. Oh, I see them there, up there. All right, we're going home, boys.
Let's turn this sausage-shaped car around. In this scene, you are driving the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Yeah, no, that was loud and clear.
Want to make sure. I tell you what, learning this game as a tribal ruler, it's a lot of plates to keep spinning.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't feel... I'm not... Let me be super clear about two things. Number one, I am not having fun.
That's good.
I am having a good deal of fun. And hopefully my hilarious failure is entertaining. I don't imagine that seeing someone suck at this game... Like I'm sure there's an invested person who is good at this, who's just pulling their hair out watching me play. But I would imagine people who are as rankly noobish as I am, and or who just like a good story, are enjoying the Sisyphusian, not even Sisyphusian, the Ronald McDonald-ish story of my family line.
Okay, I have an important question. Who in this Ronald McDonald-esque dynastic story is the Grimace?
I mean, that might be you. my Jarldom is being hamburgled, and you're just up there grinning away. All right, let's go. Let's see what's gonna happen here.
I guess currently I am actually ransacking the lands of Mayor McCheese.
Officer Big Mac, is that the cop?
Now we have come to the limits of my familiarity with McDonald's lore, because I didn't even... I think once I turned 3, I started refusing to eat McDonald's, so...
Well, la-di-da.
No, it was not I would like to say that I was just a, very, sort of nutrition conscious toddler, but it was much more because I was an extraordinarily picky eater as a child.
Sure.
And did not really need to have a reason to just emphatically and flatly state that I was not going to eat a thing anymore.
Had the arbitrary trait, did you?
Yeah, although I would argue that probably most toddlers do.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. It's a standard roll. Hold on, we got a siege, which on paper I can stop.
Okay, let's see. Where are my allies here? Down in Sibej?
That's the spot, yeah.
So, let's see.
I see that they have 1,185 troops.
They do?
I see that I have 1,645 troops.
They have 2 pips, you have 1. Are your armies combined? That would be the first thing I would do, is combine my armies. That'll just give you a better look at what kind of quality you're dealing with. It'll allow your good generals to have more wide-reaching effects.
Gotcha. That's, I think, what I've been doing wrong here mostly.
Well, and you only have the 3 knights, which is, like, having more would help. But your Jarl Helgi, your commander, is very good. He's got 26 prowess, which is pretty good. Your force composition is not amazing, but I don't think theirs is either. And they're in 3 allied armies. They do one of those armies is pretty high quality. They can punch above their weight class. So to speak.
Talk to me about force composition. Where are you seeing this?
So I can mouse over your army because it's just the one army, and I can see that you have a little over 1,000 levies. You have 3 champions, knights, whatever they're called in your society. 84 heavy infantry,
Gotcha.
143 pikemen or spearmen or halberdiers or whatever. 100 cavalry and 300. I think that's going to be light infantry. The lack of archers might actually be kind of a problem for you. Because it means that you're not doing damage during the skirmish phase of combat, but there's no real good way to address that in the short term. Are you reinforcing at all? If you mouse over this army, do you get the information that you're reinforcing so many people per month?
Yeah, well supplied, 20 per month.
Okay, so that's your supplies, not your troops.
Oh, gotcha.
You're storing up, you're stocking up.
Understood.
Yeah.
So no, then.
Then yeah, this is the best it's gonna get for now. So.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry, actually, levies is plus 85 per month, and armored footmen is plus 16 per month, and pikemen is plus 40 per month. So it's not nothing.
That's pretty good. I would actually go stand if they've got. Yeah, you won't be going through too much in the way of supplies. If you just park in the barony of Novrojev, right north of the tribe of Sebej, where the siege is going on, if you just park in the region immediately to the north of it, and let those troops trickle in, you can still drive them off before they complete the siege, or at least try to. They're not going to be reinforcing right now unless they have mercenaries.
Gotcha.
In their army, and I don't think they do, because they have 3 armies, a 456, a 452, and a 277. They're suffering attrition as well. So
okay, this is all stuff. This is all stuff that I was reading somewhat, but not in its fullness. So thank you for that. And I went through the tutorial and everything. There's just a ton of goddamn information associated with every decision.
Yeah. They're not suffering oversupply attrition. They're suffering in enemy territory attrition, so it's not a lot. But they do have 16 champions. They've got some archers, a fair number of archers actually. They've only got 1 good general, leading an army of 277. But yeah, they have a couple of just kind of mechanical advantages over you. They are going to take out some of your guys before any of your guys get to fight because they've got archers and you don't.
Sure.
But
not much else to be done though.
Yeah, I feel like you have at least a shot. Some of it's going to come down to the rolls. I would say watch the siege progress, watch their behavior, and watch your reinforcement levels. If you're not reinforcing, double digits per month, it's not probably worth waiting on.
Sure.
You won't be crossing a river. You'll be going from taiga to taiga, so it's not like they're going to have a tremendous terrain advantage. I think taiga does confer +4 defender advantage. So yeah, there is some advantage that they'll have from being the defender, which defenders usually have an advantage. But yeah, we can maximize your chances at least.
All right.
So
off we go.
Godspeed.
Thanks.
I will be watching my own war.
Yeah, no,
but if you,
I'm so selfish. How's your war going, Adam?
Pretty well, 43% in my favor, although they are trying to siege back the tribe of Sigtuna at the moment, and hopefully I'll finish up my siege time to get down there and stop them. But that was not to say, how dare you draw my attention. It was to say, if you need, further input or advice, I'm happy to provide it. You will just have to let me know.
Sure. They're fleeing. They ran away.
Okay. Well, that's also breaking the siege, so,
Yeah. Okay. Now where the hell are they going?
north into the city of Izborsk, and north into the tribe of Pskov, or Pskov, or however you say that. I do not know. Being raided. Stop raiding me. My armies are on a different landmass.
I did sort of enjoy Jarl Louis Anderson for a second there.
All right. Yeah, I need a new plot. Hang on one second. I'm sitting here trying to sway somebody who already likes me at 100%. Because I'm not the
worst
brightest.
thing about this war has just been the brain drain. I just have these dummy wummies for my council position.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start that scheme. Yeah, especially early on when you're a small tribal ruler, you're lucky if you've got double digits in some of these. My chancellor has 7 diplomacy. If it makes you feel any better.
I mean, a little, yeah.
Yeah, well, and then if you're trying to give powerful vassals spots on your council,
Sure.
like your powerful vassals are not always or even necessarily like the ones who know what the hell they're doing. They are actually heading back to Tartu now, so if you wanted to siege back some of that stuff that's propping up their war score, this might be the time. It would make them the defender too if they came to break up the siege, or make you the defender.
That makes sense. So where should I head straight for the capital of the chiefdom of Tartu?
Well, so that would be one option. They're probably going to be there though. They're gaining war score right now from holding on to your stuff.
Gotcha. So like Narva would be the big one.
Pskov actually is giving them more. You can mouse over it. They've got 46% war score from battles won and 40 from occupation, 27.1% of which is coming from Pskov. So if you go to the tribe of Pskov just northwest of where you are now and settle in, they might come attack you.
Gotcha.
But that should give you at least a little bit of an advantage, and in the meantime you'll be taking that back for yourself. They've really, I think, only got a garrison of 250 there, so it's not like that'll tip the scales dramatically, even if it does take some months to siege it. Cool. Now if they start running circles around you and going for the tribe of Holmgarther, then you can always abandon the siege and go intercept them.
Luckily we're all staying pretty close to home.
Yeah, it's one of the good things about having relatively small domains.
Sure. Okay, good when you are.
Well, that's... trying to decide where to head my armies now, and then I will unpause. I'm trying to figure out if I want to round the cape here. This Malaren is like this giant fjord that I have to walk all the way around to get to the next county I can siege. But the other one is very far away, so... How much does it cost to embark to the sea? That might be the way to go. Yeah, let's embark to the Gulf of Bothnia, which sounds like a Star Wars. Unpausing. Go.
Siege of Pskov is going fine.
They are heading north around you. I think they are trying to make an end run to Holmgarther.
Okay.
But they may not go faster than you.
So let's pause. How many troops do you think I should split off and send there? This is where I've been screwing up before.
Yeah, well, so just a second. Let me read this event that popped up. And it's come to my attention that some local commoners are moving to Inariyarvi, the capital of my Chancellor Chieftain Sampo. Locals, newly settled or not, praising me can surely do no harm to his perception of me. I can pay peasants to speak highly of me in his territory.
That is next level petty.
Boy, am I gonna do it though.
What, are you gonna not do it?
So okay, they are. Yes, I know I'm being rated. They are sending. Oh, they may not be going to Holmgarther. They're heading to Lyuban at the moment. They've got 1,400 troops in transit, so you'd probably need your whole force to deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
The 735 that you can probably see on the other side of Lake Pipus, I don't know where they're headed. But yeah, I'm not sure where they are sending these 1,400. It looked like they were going to Holmgarther, but it looks like maybe they're not, since they are headed east rather than south. I will try to keep an eye on them for you and let you know, but I think you're probably not going to be able to maintain the siege and base their army in the field, which, how is the siege going? 5 months left? Unless you get some lucky rolls. Like, they probably won't be able to prosecute a siege faster than that.
Sure.
Though it can take a minute to walk from point A to point B, you should at least have an opportunity to catch up to them.
It's the best I can do, yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna try that.
Cool.
At least, so. Carry on. My wayward Jarl. I'm so sorry. Okay, they did go to Holmgarther. But they are raiding it?
That is an unrelated raiding party, I think.
Oh. Okay, well they are headed to Holmgarther. Let me see what I've got. They have a 17-month siege ahead of them, it looks like.
Okay, so I should be able to finish this and then head there.
They are bringing in more troops. They are going to have about 2,000 by the time you can get there, like, even if you left now.
Sure. So that's kind of that, then. I mean, like, I could...
Well, if you stay here doing this, they will suffer attrition in the meantime.
That's a good point.
Again, not super rapidly, but... Oh, they're coming to you. It looks like. I wish I had a better steward. Marshal, whatever. They're coming in stages, so...
Interesting.
Good luck. This is going to be about, I think, the best you can hope for in terms of circumstances.
Meanwhile, my son and heir, Hraldr, hovers in the limbo between childhood and adulthood. I have taught him enough to understand the truth, and he is still young enough to have an open mind. If I want to induct him into the service of Velis, it is now or never. I mean, yeah, man.
Interesting. Is that a religious conversion thing?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, because he was Slovyanskin, or?
Oh, no, this is like a secret society thing, because he gains the secret witch.
Are you a witch?
I did not know that about myself. Hang on.
Learn something every day.
You wait just a cotton picking minute here.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to see it on your character sheet because it's a secret.
It's a secret. I don't see it either, though. Where do I find secrets?
I think it would be if you had it, it would be sort of just to the right of your Slovyanskan Norse little inset there in the little temporary modifiers, but another way you could tell, actually, I think being a witch gives you a minor health boost, so if you hovered over your little heart that indicates what your health is like, it would show up there.
Interesting. No?
But I guess you can just decide to witchify your kid arbitrarily.
I mean, there's no possibility of my not doing this, especially since I may not. I mean, who knows how this is about to go for me in this war? So yeah, my heir's a witch. My heir's a witch.
Well, witchcraft is criminal, so it could be for Slovyanska Pravda. So it could be a problem for him if it is discovered. Right. But if it's not discovered, then hey, it's a health boost.
That's the whole deal with secrets.
Yeah, for what it's worth, in my single player game, I absolutely my ruling dynasty of Britannia is a witch coven. Like, literally there is a form coven decision that you can make.
That's stunning. This is a good video game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I enjoy it quite a lot. Good luck in
thanks.
your upcoming battle.
Thank you.
I'm
going to need it.
Best.
Yeah, it's auto-saving.
Yeah, they only outnumber you by a little bit, but, you know...
Well, and yeah. See, I'm losing really hard right now. Hold on. Let me pause. Why am I losing so hard right now?
I can't see the details of the battle, so like even if I click on it, I don't really have a great idea.
They just, I think it's mainly that they have way more champions than I do.
They have 16 champions to your 3 is probably the big thing. Let's see what else. They've got the flexible leader trait reduces your defender advantage. And that's probably part of it. The champions, I think, is going to be the big part of it, and just their army counters yours in ways that yours don't counter theirs. Your light horsemen counter their archers, but your armed footmen get countered by their light footmen, and I think that, I mean, their rolls are very high. In this case, like, you know, if they didn't have Chiefess Virga at 25, their next best commander is not very good, and you would have a big commanding advantage. But yeah, I mean, and you've even got advantage for Forest Fighter to, like, I think, yeah, all of this is still in the early battle phase, which means that you not having any archers at all is really screwing you over, I think.
Yeah, that's gotta be what it is. That's probably been my issue this whole war.
That may very well be. Well, because they have their culture is Suomenusco. They have access to those forest wardens that I've got, who are like archers plus. And so they are, and this particular army, they have the trait aggressive attacker plus 25% to enemy fatal casualties. So in the skirmish phase, they are killing a quarter more people instead of just like wounding, you know, which has a bigger impact on morale. You know, you're and I think the troop type too, now that I think about it, those archers get a bonus in Taiga, and you've only been fighting in Taiga.
Right.
So yeah, those, not having a counter, I mean, you do have some light horsemen, but not having archers of your own to make the skirmish phase less of a slaughter. And then you know, if you had more light horsemen, you might see a slightly different outcome here. But yeah, they're mostly archers. Yeah, I mean, they're mostly levies. All the armies in this game are mostly levies. But if you count out the levies, they're mostly archers, and good ones for this territory. And you've only got 100 light horsemen, you know, to try and counter that, and nothing really going in the skirmish phase, it looks like. The sort of question, actually, that would have been completely unanswerable for me in Crusader Kings 2, why do I keep losing these battles? This one seems to present more information.
It's pretty transparent. I mean, like, it seems like, in this case, by the time I knew what was up, it was a little bit too late to do anything about it. But I understand what I could, in theory, do better, you know, next Jarl. Right.
Well, and, like, I'm learning this stuff, too, right?
Oh,
like,
for sure.
I feel like I'm pretty satisfied with my answer, but it could be that if somebody who contributes to the wiki or something happens to watch this, we may get a comment explaining how incredibly wrong I am.
I mean, you know, that'd be a good and educational problem to have.
Yeah,
okay.
Just cover my ass.
I guess I'm gonna let this play out.
Apologies that this war has gone so poorly for you.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh,
this is how we learn.
Chieftain Sampo has passed away. You may no longer sway him.
I mean, that's reasonable. Good thing we have a witch in the family.
Right. Exactly. Oh. That was the problem. Okay, well, at least my Chancellor is now double digits of relevant skill. Unpausing. Dang. Yeah, you're down about 1,000 people.
Yeah, it's not what I was hoping for. Oi, premature birth on top of it.
Ruh-roh.
And she is no longer pregnant.
Alright, well, I'm being attacked. By the chief.
Who are you being attacked by?
The chief of Peakam, who is on the other edge of my territory from where my army currently is in Sweden. So hopefully he is slow enough at conquering territory that I can get my troops over there in a timely enough fashion. I mean, my war in Sweden is going well, but it's not almost over.
Sure.
So we will see how this goes. Yeeks. Unpausing. Alright, I guess they're gonna settle in for the siege of Holmgarther.
Yeah. My courtier, Colborne, has been wounded and his flesh has contracted foulness and swelling. Great. If the right kind of treatment is administered, and if Zebog is merciful, he should make it. There is nothing that can be done.
Yeah. Godspeed with your infection. Or your courtier's infection, I guess. I was speaking to your courtier, not to you, but...
Right.
You know. I now have most of Uppland's territory in my possession, so hopefully this war will be over relatively soon. Because Peakam is definitely heading into my northern reaches here with an ally who has been raiding me, the bastard. He's going to be paying his troops with money that he took from my towns.
So, I'm screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any advantage to... Like, is it better to let them take the capital, or is it better to surrender?
If they take the capital, they will take some of your money.
Okay.
So it may be a better idea to surrender if you're just like, well, I can't win this.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can't.
The treaty outcomes will be the same. You won't get a more lenient peace because you surrendered, but
right.
You know, won't have to ransom anybody or anything like that.
All right, let's see here. I'm a vassal. Yeah, I mean it's what's happening at this point. So let's do it.
All right, let's see. We won the war. So yeah, you lose your jarldom is the big cost here. So you got to kind of work your way up from being a subjugate. But
and my other son is now my heir. Now why would that be the case?
Well, my best guess, and I'm just looking at Estonia. So let's see, you still hold Novgorod, Viangi, and Tikvin, better known as a jarldom and a half, I guess. Or is it just the one? Yeah, but... Anyway, so you've got one less title, is the main thing. And so I still see Haraldur Helgason as your main heir, but it probably has changed who gets what.
I see.
Yeah, Haraldur is getting Novgorod and Tikvin, and then Rurik is getting Viang. And then I guess Thorolfur is just gets to eat shit. He doesn't seem to get anything. So yeah, having all of your titles available be on one tier, it plus having one fewer titles is changing the math.
Sure, that makes sense. So I mean, I do. You need to hear this letter. So to my obnoxious vassal, may wisdom ever elude you. This war has gone on for too long, and I am glad to put an end to it. I accept your surrender. So be it. Well, that sucked.
Yeah. High Chieftain Kelva, who is... All right, well, you're in the Kingdom of Estonia now, which is an interesting development.
That is interesting.
Because it means that you basically have a couple options. You can, try to be a good vassal to both your liege, High Chieftain Kelva, and I don't know why I've decided that it's a W sound. I don't know what Estonian sounds like. High Chieftain Kelva, and to King Nalka. You can try to break away from one or both into independence once again. Or you can try to politic your way to the top of either the Jarldom or the Kingdom. Or both.
Sure.
All of those are probably going to be multi-generational endeavors, but here's where we run into an interesting development. I have never been a vassal in CK3. My initial dozens of hours in the first couple of weeks have trailed away somewhat as real life has reasserted itself. And if it's anything like CK2, it changes a lot of what your sort of like options are. Like you can now form factions, like the ones that you had to deal with, or join them.
Sure.
You can use schemes and hooks and things a lot more flexibly, or with a lot more options, as I understand it, because you are intriguing, for
Sure.
or against your monarch.
Aw, thanks.
But you intrigue. But yeah, I would kind of investigate, if not all at once, because it could be overwhelming. Sort of when you are checking out those screens, especially the factions and intrigue panels, just kind of see what's what. See what pops out at you. See what you can do now that you couldn't before.
Well, okay. This is definitely going to be an interesting way to explore other corners of the game, even though it's not the outcome we were hoping for.
Well, and it's not exactly an outcome. We're in 891. We got another...
That's a good point.
Almost not quite 600 years. To
a lot can happen. A lot can happen in 600 years. Yes.
I mean, we've just discovered a lot can happen in 5. So
a lot did, in fact. Yeah. All right, I'm good to progress the timeline.
And in the game too. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Whoa, hey, 5 years, like the last week of 2020.
Yeah. All right, I'm pausing.
Let's do it.
This is me forgetting how to use my mouse, because the camera controls are very different in Oxygen Not Included and CK3.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So I'm just recruiting a court physician here.
Always a pretty good idea, if I do say so myself.
Okay.
Can't believe I'm fighting the High Chief of Upland's raiders for him. Pause. It's just Falto coming of age.
One cool difference is now I can see both my council and my liege's council, which I assume is important for hooks and plotting. And
yeah, if you can, exert influence on your liege's council, that's not a bad thing. One assumes, at least. Yeah, let's go ahead with that one. Sumbio is under siege. Yeah, that's what I expected. Boy, oh boy. It's got 8 months versus 7 months. Okay, well, we'll see how this goes. Okay, unpausing.
Yep.
Oh, just kidding. Blessed are the meek. I was shocked when I caught Haba trying to steal from the travel chest of the visiting chieftain Olavi. He gave me an impressive speech on how he now understood why what he had done was wrong. Well, be humble. That sounds good to me. Can I call in allies into this stupid war? I can call allies into this stupid war. I don't have very much in the way of prestige to spend on calling people in. That said, go ahead and call your liege actually into my defensive war and hope that helps. Okay, unpausing. Yay, she joined.
Hooray.
Alright, my concubine is pregnant.
Mazel tov.
I feel pretty, like, relieved on Queen Titty's account that she doesn't seem to be getting pregnant anymore in her late 40s.
Oh, hang on a second. This is interesting.
Hmm.
To my cocky vassal, my liege is a complete jerkwad, and I enjoy it. I have come to the inexorable conclusion that you truly are the best candidate I have for my open council position. Though it pains me to do so, typo, I think, I am unfortunately obligated to offer you the position of Marshal of Novgorod.
Interesting. That seems like a, I don't know, I guess she actually likes you pretty well. Oh no, she likes her king pretty well, never mind. I that procedurally generated text sounds like an interesting combination of her and your personalities versus her and your opinions of each other.
For sure. No, it's very good. It's very good.
She, for the record, is a rapacious atheist by personality type, which is quite funny. Yeah, you do have better martial than she does, so.
Yeah, I mean, she's clearly there's a lot of negging, but she clearly would like to keep me like she would like to make it worth my while to be a good vassal as opposed to immediately plotting to overthrow her.
Right.
And it's also, I mean, like, the council mechanics are very interesting. So, like, I've never been on a council in this playthrough. I think maybe in these games, so I'm curious how that works out. That's definitely interesting.
Yeah, well, and in tribal law, right, like, the council can vote on some stuff. I think less than in the, I think it was just, like, the council DLC expansion for Crusader Kings 2. But, but yeah, like, you know, that's essentially giving you a vote on policy and some stuff.
Right.
So, not a bad idea to seize the power, I guess.
Okay, I'm good to continue when you are.
I am good. Thankfully, Uppland is in enough other wars that they are unable to effectively stand still and siege back stuff.
It's for the best.
Oh. Well, here comes the High Chieftain of Novgorod.
Well, hello there. My liege is currently pursuing a war. Hang on. defending against Chieftain Algabaevi of Piekam.
Yeah, he's currently sieging Sumbio up in my northern reaches with 900 troops, and he's going to finish that in about 2 months. So yeah, I had called in your liege because...
Interesting.
Well,
I should probably disband and lick my wounds for a bit.
Yeah, it seems like, especially if you're, having cash flow problems.
Yeah. Prestige, understandably, is my biggest issue at the moment, but...
Yeah, weirdly enough, she sent this 1257 person army up into Sweden to stand next to where my army is, rather than sending it to where the siege is going.
Sure.
Weird.
Oh yeah, I do have some juicy new options as far as creation of factions.
Nice.
Independence faction, Liberty faction.
Which I think is lowering authority, maybe?
The Independence faction... Well, let's see. So Peasant Rabble is about lowering authority. Independence faction, which basically just breaks us up into independent units. Makes sense.
Right.
However, my liege already has the lowest possible crown authority, so a Liberty faction does nothing. Yeah, that's okay. This is interesting. Stuff to keep an eye on. I can't do much right now, but these are whole ass new mechanics. So this is that disastrous war was the best thing that ever happened to me.
It's so much easier to be a vassal.
I mean, that sure is how she's treating the relationship. My God.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, and I picture there being a future here for you where you become just the most likable man in Estonia and use your charisma and diplomacy to get everybody to join your independence faction.
So there was a commotion among the children today. Haraldr was attempting to preach among his fellow youngsters and became the target of a small fight. Rurik intervened and did what he could to protect him. So this, by default, gives Rurik the trait Brave.
Nice. Pretty good one.
Yeah.
It does mean that you'll suffer stress for taking the practical option sometimes if it is also cowardly.
Oh, interesting. He becomes a fearless atheist. I mean, who can resist?
Too bad Twitter won't be invented for a while. I think you'd have a blast.
Oh, those are very fearful atheists. Let's be real. Okay. In my experience,
okay, they are trying very hard to appear fearless.
Sure. In the way of the truly fearful.
Indeed. I can pick a perk.
You pick that perk.
Very few of these help me that much, but I am trying to get to Avaricious, so...
Fortunately... Baby Bjorn is a baby no more, by the way.
Oh. Big boy Bjorn.
Big baby Bjorn. Who just hates my guts for reasons that are not entirely clear to me.
I can't imagine why somebody who you continually call Big Baby Bjorn would be particularly... Wow. Did you see that he's a eunuch?
I had not gotten there yet, no.
Yeah, he cannot have children, may not inherit titles, may not marry. I don't know what happened to him. It seems like probably a battle wound or something from an experimental treatment, maybe. But yeah, Chieftain Bjorn Rurikson of Rusa is not going to have any kids. And Helgi the Seer is in line to inherit his title. Dies.
Very interesting.
So, yeah. All right, I'm going to unpause this.
Cool. It was funny. I was looking at another neighboring Bjorn who has lover's pox. So I was like, wow, but I don't see that that's progressed to is eunuch used very broadly in these statuses, or okay.
I think actually, or at least if CK2 has anything to go on, eunuch and infertile would be different.
Yeah.
Traits. Obviously, I don't really think that you could gain infertile after you already had eunuch, but
right. He said, doing a strange sort of math in his head. So my liege is a bit down on war score. I'm her marshal. I feel a little responsible.
Yeah, this is that.
You're on the other side of this
conquest.
War.
Yeah, so that they succeeded at their siege, which I knew they would, because I am currently in Sweden and not
sure.
Actually defending anything. But they will probably take a few places, and then I will have to go back and try to siege them back, which is unfortunate. It will hurt my county control quite a bit, which sucks. But at the moment, how any given county is doing is less important than am I getting closer to being able to put a crown on my head.
Sure.
Just gotta get myself unpausing. Would you like to be on speed 3?
Yeah. I don't know how we got down to 2, actually. That might be on me.
It's probably just... It does adjust based on latency. If I start lagging or something, it'll pull it down. Hopefully this next battle should see me become the vassal... the liege lord of what is currently Uppland. Fingers crossed. And then that will let me go actually see to the invasion I've got going on in my north.
I'm knocking wood for you.
Though if I do have to lose territory, losing it from Sapmi would be better than losing it from de jure Sapmi would be better than losing it from de jure Finland. Because I could still become king of Finland if I lose my northernmost 2 or 3.
Sure.
3, I think. Chiefdoms.
So,
not that I wish to lose them.
Piety, by the way, is the one currency that I currently have a fair bit of. What can I use? I can use that to reform my faith. Are there other things to consider using that
on? I mean, the short answer is yes, but they tend to be event related.
Gotcha.
I think under decisions you can do things like consecrate your bloodline if you have 2,500 piety.
Not
which
quite there, but good to know.
Is a dynasty thing that you can do. It's also necessary for certain other decisions. Founding a holy order is something that you could do with that, I guess. Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of things. I tend to think of it mostly as being a currency for decisions, and then for big stuff,
Sure, makes sense.
Reforming, consecrating, those sorts of things. Interesting. Defenders of Ukko is something I may want to shoot for. I was looking into the decisions tab to see what you could use piety for, and if I can get eventually I'm a ways off to level 3 of devotion, devoted servant, and have a holy site and have some powerful vassals in that like me, I can fortify a holy site. I can become the defenders of Ukko. Be pretty rad. All right, on pausing. Yes, I know. Completely impronounceable thing is under siege. I'm sorry, any Suomi speakers, but boy, this is tough.
One sec. Heralder has come of age. I would just like to let you know. With sufficient tutelage, even a child that has displayed little natural inclination toward administration, such as Heralder can come to truly understand it. Not content with understanding the flow of wealth and people, he seems capable of predicting it, as if by instinct. He always finds new ways of profiting off of it, too, so he gains the trait Midas touched.
That's the highest tier of stewardship education. I would say, even if he doesn't do anything else, send at least a couple people each generation to get educated by him so that you have good stewards around in your kingdom. So the spelling of this county that's currently under siege is AANAARJA_VRI.
Please favor us with an attempt.
Anarjarvi.
That was solid.
Oh, I switched around the V and the R. I gotta try again. Anarjarvi. It's hard. It's very hard.
It's very good.
Anyway, I have nothing that I need to be paused for.
I do quickly, because now that my son has come of age, I need to find him a spouse. Whatever happened to us joining our houses? That never.
We did, and then you died.
Right, that whole thing. So is there someone who might has touched?
I'll tell you what I can just do though. Chieftain Helgi's parent, child, or sibling is married to a parent, child, or sibling of me. You are Chieftain Helgi, correct?
I am Chieftain Helgi.
Have an alliance.
Oh, there you go. I assume I get that when we restart time.
Presumably. I don't know why it wasn't available before this, but...
Yeah, I'll take an alliance. Now, is this traitorous to my liege, who is currently at war with you, or?
She is allied to me.
Oh, she's allied to you.
As it happens.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Excellent news. So
I think the previous generation did this, but yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, okay, I see. The alliance is highlighting it. Okay. I understand the map once again.
It's a constant struggle, to be perfectly honest.
Well, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. What would be, all things being equal, a good alliance to claim here? So let's see. We could marry somebody...
Well, and when thinking about alliances, here's another thing you want to think about, too. Who can you declare war on? Like, who are valid targets for you? Try not to ally with them.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like, because you can still expand, even though you are a vassal, like, unless it gets to very high levels of feudal control, you should be able to independently declare wars to expand your own holdings, and that gives you a bigger power base. Now, granted, it may or may not be the most immediate goal for you right now, because, you know, consolidating your power in this case may look like taking the one county of Holmgarther that you know you're always going to have and building it up to be as economically and militarily strong as possible.
Sure.
But, you know, there is... it's something you want to keep an eye on, because you don't want to have, like, oh, this one neighbor who is perfectly ripe for conquest, and oops, I allied with them 2 decades ago and didn't think about it at the time.
Sure.
I speak from experience, in case that was not obvious.
So this Czech princess is promising. I mean, she has like a bunch of claims that she and her siblings are all pressing. So it's not going to make things less interesting, that's for sure. None of these are places I would reasonably be declaring war on anytime soon. There's also Kuvitar of Kem. Where the hell is Kem? Oh, it's Vienna, roughly.
I am fascinated by what's going on in Great Moravia, because you have the Kingdom of Great Moravia, and then within that, bordered on all sides by it, you have the Kingdom of Bohemia.
This is a weird map in a bunch of ways.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm just sort of... I haven't like taken a look around in a while. Huh. Yeah, Great Moravia is absolutely fascinating here. Huh. We're so provincial. We're so focused on our own little corner.
Got a real sizable Bavaria.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite a Bavaria. Like, would you look at the Bavaria on that one?
Like, it's not substantially larger than its de jure borders, but it goes up a good way into what we would think of as, like, Germany, or on this map, East Francia.
Sure.
Lotharingia is bisected by the Alps and Savoy. Frankly, I'm surprised Lotharingia still is. It's not a tenable territory, frankly. Historically, even not a tenable territory. Not Charlemagne's best decision there.
Sure. And he had several questionable ones. I should make clear, by the way, when I said that this other potential spouse for my son is from Vienna, I did not mean Austria. And I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I am talking way up here, much closer to Adam's neck of the woods. So I'm wondering if that's smart.
I do wish that I could tell you, but do not know.
I mean, the idea of being involved in the Czech part of the world, like that's a world away. I feel like this other option is closer to our neck of the woods, but
yeah. Well, I'm looking at like kingdom stuff. It is specifically a Poland away from most of the places that you would be splashing around in, so to speak.
Sure.
I like that there's the Southern Baltic Empire now. In Crusader Kings 2, that one de jure was the, if you look at the de jure empire titles, you get the Southern Baltic Empire. It was the Wendish Empire.
It's pretty delightful.
Which I played as, a king of Courland, who became the Emperor of the Wends eventually, and told a friend about it. The Emperor of the Wendish Empire, and he gave me this look and went, "What? The Wend just got an empire?" Like, this time, yeah.
Let them have this. Well, there's a dark horse. She's substantially older than he is, but she's got decent stewardship, decent diplomacy, pretty dang good martial. Better than his, maybe? Slightly better than his. She has a claim on Jatik. Is that how you say that? Z with a thing over it. And Litomarish is probably quite not how you say that.
Let's just pronounce all of these in French. Okay.
Novgorod. So we're basically talking about over in the Great Moravia zone for one of those, which is very interesting.
I cannot say that I have a real good handle on how to pronounce anything in the family of languages around Czech. I sort of started a Duolingo on it, so all I've got is, I believe it is either thank you or you're welcome is děkuji. But the accent marks remain pretty opaque to me.
I knew more Czech for a sec when I did, that was not an intentional rhyme, when I did a play about Dvorak back when I was an actor.
Yeah.
I know this because I learned it the way the director wanted me to, which was super wrong. And then a lovely Czech couple came to me after like the third performance and told me all the things I mispronounced. I seriously got out a notebook and just like, yeah.
No, I would definitely want to know, from the horse's mouth, as it were. I have distant family in the Czech Republic to this day. My aunt and uncle have actually gone to visit like their fifth cousins or something crazy like that, during their retirement of leisure. But I don't think I've ever been around spoken Czech, so I only have the vaguest idea of what it sounds like. Děkuji, I guess.
Yeah, I have Czech friends, but they don't speak Czech around me. So like,
right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, I've been laboring over this decision more than the game probably wants me to. But
well, so if you marry the older woman with the better skills, you do have a way around that because you've got the. I'm assuming that Slavyanska also has concubines. I could be wrong.
True, I think. I'm actually not sure about that.
Well, let's see. Marriage type monogamous. I guess not. Don't think that you can have concubines anymore.
Concubines have disappeared from my life.
Well, that means that marrying a younger woman or being prepared to remarry, I guess, if she dies.
Sure.
But having more opportunities to produce an heir is a consideration, if not the only one.
Yeah. All right. I think. Oh, interesting. Oh, inheritable traits. That's probably something I should be paying more attention to than I have been. Quick is good. Homely. Haven't seen this one before. So -1 diplomacy, -10% fertility, -10 attraction option. Oh, the soft eugenics of this game. Not even that soft, really.
Yeah, I was going to say soft eugenics is one of those phrases that's like, it's not euphemistic. But it's not euphemistic.
Right. It's not euphemistic, much like the phrase not euphemistic.
It's a Schrodinger's euphemism,
right.
if you will.
Right. So the other two options, the older woman and there's another, was she the Czech one? Both have the opposite trait, which is pretty, which is +2 diplomacy, +20 fertility, +20 attraction option, and also quick.
Quick is a consideration. Attractiveness traits are also hereditary. Which, like, yeah, I get where they're coming from. That one maybe could have used a little more complexity.
There's a little bit. There's some gross assumptions happening there.
Well, and not least of which is that the Great Khan of the Kyrgyz Khanate is going to find the same things attractive as the King of Scotland.
Right, that exactly is just like across the board pretty. Like, yeah, that's obscene. That's absurd. Yeah. Oh, and the chance to have children. Okay, I'm just trying to slow down and look at all the stats since I've learned to covet the details since I've been been humbled in my previous war. Okay, so they straight up have the older women. They straight up have a low chance to have children.
Well, I think that also that takes into account the calculations going on behind the scenes for like stage of life and attraction, opinion, and fertility, like levels, both advertised and not advertised. It also takes into account, I think, the time window.
Sure. All right, we're making a decision.
Which is to say, if you like go out of your way to like seduce your wife, then like that chance does functionally go up.
Sure. Okay, we've gone with somebody who would give me potentially territory up by you if her claim works out, and if this does end up being my heir, and if we don't all die in a big conflagration of some kind, if. But it could happen, and it would be interesting if it did. Plus, I think they'll be very happy together.
Yeah, and if I need to snake territory from somebody, it's probably easier just to declare war on you and then have you immediately capitulate than have to actually deal with the AI.
I'm really good at that. That's Realm of Viking. Okay, here we go. They're married. She doesn't love me, but that's not that important.
And can change.
Right.
Please let this end the war. Please let this end the war. Yes! Important battles.
I remember those. I used to be a contender. I used to be somebody.
That we did. Enforced demands. I got 2 Jarldoms out of that. Dang,
Jarl.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vassals and 350 prestige.
Okay.
That was a worthwhile endeavor.
You
You can just call me the Grand Poobah of Pianma.
The Grand Puba.
Okay, so this is good. This is very good. I do still have to get a lot of prestige from somewhere, but if I can get that prestige and a little bit of gold, and if I can get to be at peace again, I have enough piety and enough duchies and a high enough level of fame, illustrious to be specific, that I can create my own kingdom whole cloth without having to conquer a de jure set of borders. So
Nice.
that is checked off.
Very good. Very good.
Let me also decisions about that prestige. I've got the money, so I'm gonna do like a hunt and let's head back to Oulu. Yeah, go by ship, that's fine. I guess that means I can actually put in closer.
For the record, I am a witch. It's under intrigue. I know this because I have the option to expose my son for being a witch, which would be a real dick move since I brought him into the order. Yeah. And also a bad move since I also am a witch and also he's my heir. But nonetheless, yeah. I have the option.
Jeez, could you believe this asshole over here being a witch and stuff?
I mean, who does that?
Right.
But yeah, so if you would like to know if your current character has secrets you were not aware of that were secret to you as well, that's where you find that. Intrigue tab, yeah. Hooks and secrets. You have more. Yeah. You have more martial concerns to worry about at the moment. I'm willing.
So I don't have any secrets, but I do know that my spy master is a deviant.
Ooh. Now, do we know what that means?
It is purposefully vague. I think it covers a lot of the here we go. Deviancy. There are some sexual practices which are simply abnormal and strange. It stands to reason that people with those desires are equally abnormal and strange. This is separate from adultery or same-sex relations, though. So it's probably also at least a little bit suggestive that the icon for it is a either, depending on how you want to look at it, just a plain-ass goat or like a Baphomet head.
Yeah, those two things imply two very different things in my view, but
yeah. But like I said, I think it's left purposefully vague.
Sure. Yeah, it covers a lot of possible things. Okay.
Unpause and try to go put paid to this invasion that I'm suffering. All right, my concubine has had a daughter who is healthy. Good. I hope that may actually then be where we stop for the evening, as it was right about time.
It might be.
Arbitrary as it was, I guess we can call it a cliffhanger. What will become of our intrepid petty king as he heads off to repel the invaders in the north?
Exactly. I mean, that, I'm honestly not sure if we're still streaming or not at this point. Life is strange. But I'll tell you this much. This gives us a good incentive to... I can cloud save again. That's good. That gives us a good incentive to do this again sooner than later. So if you are still hearing me, thank you for watching, everybody. And if you're not, then who am I talking to? What is anything?
Ooh! You're talking to me.
That's true. Adam, thank you a ton as always for helping me stumble ass backwards into lovely adventures here in Crusader Kings 3, and just for being a very enjoyable cat to hang out with.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's always a blast. Sorry that your war didn't go amazingly